Yes.
I love the sounds. They were great.
Yeah. And now we can begin. Hi. Hi, Roxanne.
Hello, Talia. How are you?
I am well. I'm doing well. I'm being well and I'm okay. Thank you for asking.
Good. Excellent.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our live session about flow coaching, tasting flow coaching program. And today, Roxanne and I will be supporting you. Let me just, turn off my Outlook because it's just the emails are, flooding in. And we are going to be today, walking through the program, Flow Coaching Institute's CF certification coaching programs, principles and methodology and the model, and also upcoming dates. And also we will be answering some of the questions that we received from you. And this program is live. And please feel free to interact with us. Please feel free to share your comments, share your questions with us. And we will do our best to support you, to answer your questions and exchange our perspectives with you and then support you. So my name is Talia Wardar, and I am one of the founders of the Flow Coaching Institute, and I'm a master certified coach, and been teaching at the Flow Coaching Institute program and mentoring, and also I'm coaching actively every day. I'm in the field every day. So today, Roxanne is with us, and I'm so happy to be with Roxanne because she is not only a former student, but also like she is an experienced, seasoned executive, and she's a great coach, a great coach, sensational coach, and a great human being. So welcome, Roxanne, and would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Talia. Yes, I started as a student in just at the end of 2001. So we still had the pandemic going. And I have to say, the reason I found Flow Coaching Institute. So glad that I did, because it's such a warm and welcoming and great place to learn. And what I had done in my career is I'd done a lot of coaching for leaders, managers, and individual contributors in my, I'm going to say 25 plus years, closer to 30 years of human resources management, both at the individual contributor level and then later at the leadership level, at the executive level. And I was doing so much coaching. I was wondering, am I doing this right? Am I doing it well? Well, it turns out I was doing it pretty good. But what Flow Coaching did was give me that extra bit and really helped me develop my presence as a coach. So I could support other people. And I love the philosophy. The training courses were wonderful because there was a lot of practical, and that's exactly what I needed. So that was a game changer in my career, and so much so, and I love coaching so much. This is what I do. I do learning and development training sessions for mostly focused on leadership, but also those who are looking for success in their life. So life success coaching. And I absolutely love it. I love the people that I work with. And I work closely with Flow Coaching Institute on many levels for learning. And many of my clients are from there. And it's just such a great, wonderful, supportive environment.
Thank you, Roxanne. Thank you. So Amazing, and I love working with you too. So, and we have some slides, like slide. We have a slide deck, and we have some slides. We will be talking about the model and the methodology and principles. And as I said, there are some questions also we received. We will try to answer those questions at our best ability. And then, if you still have questions, or if you think of some questions or comments, please type them in the chat box, like in the comments box, and then we will be our MC will bring them to us, and then we will be answering your questions. So let's begin, shall we? Drum rolls. So the Flow Coaching Institute is
That was good.
yeah, that was very good. That was the first time. Wow, that's wonderful. And so the Flow Coaching Institute is based in Toronto, Canada. And we're based in North York, for those of you who are familiar with the geography, maybe, of Toronto, GTA. And we offer certification programs that are accredited by the International Coaching Federation, ICF. So we offer both the most developed, most advanced level of certification, which is level 2. And we also offer level 1 certification, which leads to ICF ACC. ACC stands for Accredited Certified Coach, so Associate Certified Coach. And level 2 takes you all the way to not only ACC, but also PCC. PCC stands for Professional Certified Coach. And I'm a Master Certified Coach. And Roxanne is on her way to obtaining her ACC. And apart from ICF level 1 and level 2 accreditation, all of our training programs are certified. So we also offer badges to recognize the time you spend with us, your investment, and your commitment to becoming professional coaches. And when you finish the Core Foundations program, we issue an FCC badge, which is Flow Certified Coach badge. And then when you finish the Business Leadership Coaching program, we issue FCBC, Flow Certified Business Coach badge. And then when you finish modules 1 to 6, which is level 2, we issue FCPC badge. And then we also issue a badge for those of you who finished level 1, but it's not here. And then we also issue Expressive Arts coaching badge for those of you who finish Expressive Arts coaching program. Can we move the slide, please? And if you stay with us until the end of the session, the live session, we have a special offer. Today, we are very animated. I like it. And we have a special offer for you. So please stay with us until the end. And let's bring the slides. Yes. Before we begin, I really would like to give a brief description about the foundations of flow coaching. So who you see on the slide is Carl Rogers and Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, two psychologists that are really very important in the history of the science of psychology. Carl Rogers was the pioneer, the founder of the humanistic co-creative therapy, like psychology. He was a psychologist and psychiatrist, and he created humanistic psychology and co-creative therapy. And Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi was the pioneer, one of the founders of positive psychology. And both of them really invested a lot of time in working with clients, researching and studying. And Carl Rogers was the first one, indeed, who said that the relationship between the counselor, he used the term counselor, and the client is therapeutic. So he really was the first one to emphasize the importance of the relationship and the equal space that the counselor can give to the individual that he or she or they are working with. Whereas in Mihali's model, flow model, is a different modality. He, as the one of the founders of the positive psychology, together with two other people, one of them was Dr. Martin Seligman, the other one was Christopher Stevenson. He was curious about, apart from the disease model, the illness model, he was curious about what makes us happy. What about the well-being, the conditions that constitute our well-being? So he really researched, and he came up with the flow model. And because as a result of the research and interviewing with people and studying, he realized that people state that they're the happiest when they are in the flow zone. And in the coming slide, I will be explaining about that, and also I will be explaining why it is really very relevant to today's reality that we are all facing, right? We are all experiencing. And can we go back to the previous slide? Thank you. And also, like, apart from positive psychology and the flow model and the client-centered humanistic solution-focused psychology, and we also have foundations in neuroscience. The model, the flow coaching methodology, the 5-step flow coaching methodology, not only teaches and shows you to coach, to learn to coach in alignment with the ICF principles and competencies, but also it has its roots in neuroscience and the flow model. And we also have some tools and techniques we teach in the program that are adopted from expressive therapies and methodologies. We also have a solo program, standalone program that is called as Expressive Arts Coaching Program, which is a continuing education program. And we also have some techniques that we teach that we adopted from cognitive behavioral modalities like cognitive behavioral therapy. And we also believe that coaching a whole person is important. So we believe in systems approach, systems thinking. So now we can go back to the flow model, please. Thank you very much. And so what is the flow model about? And how relevant the 5-step flow coaching methodology is with the flow model. And Roxanne, by the way, please jump in when you feel like, you want to say something, anything, indeed. So you know me. So please jump in. Feel free to jump in. And so the flow model is an engagement model. It's also a model about really learning to own our emotions, our feelings, and applying, practicing inner discipline to control our inner world towards experiencing more flow states. And what is a flow state? right? Some of you might be familiar with the term flow state. Some of you might not be familiar with the term. But flow state means that someone or an individual, let's approach this more scientifically maybe, is experiencing full immersion, full contentment with themselves, with the self, in any time bracket, like in a moment. They feel like they are a whole person. They enjoy themselves. They feel full contentment, and they enjoy the activity they're busy with. They experience joy, and they experience their wholeness, their talent, their strengths, and they're aware of it, but they don't think about it. They're just enjoying themselves, and they don't track time. They're not aware of time, and they feel really experience their best self, their best version. So that's called a flow state. That's an experience of a flow state. Unfortunately, the way the mind is wired is not very supportive of our us to experience flow states naturally. And I mean, if you think about what is going on in the world today, a lot of people are anxious. A lot of people, especially when they watch the news, like, there's so many things beyond our control, that I don't want to say we digest, or I want to say we observe, hopefully, not absorb, hopefully. But a lot of people, indeed, they absorb without knowing, right? So what happens is they find themselves moving or wandering between anxiety, stress, concerns, and worries, or regrets, or boredom. But according to the flow model, according to psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, life beyond anxiety, life beyond stress and boredom is possible if we learn how to influence and how to discipline our inner world, our psyche. And if we learn to do that, if we learn to discipline, and if we keep practicing that, then as individuals, we can own our strengths more. We can set intentional goals more. We can build self awareness. We can own our story. We can become more content with what is, and we can accept past as is. We can reframe past as to support our future, and we can practice the flow methodology, the 5-step flow methodology, and then we can experience more flow states in personal and in professional life. Thus, we can become more engaged in our personal lives and also in our professional lives at work. And it really teaches us how to train our focus better, our attention. The word he uses is attention. Our attention better, how to direct our attention better. So we become masters of directing our attention, become more focused intentionally, and really spend our energy wisely instead of wasting our energy and time, and invest time, energy, and I want to say like psychic energy, but excuse me, please, if you're not familiar with this term. But if you come to program, I promise I will explain it. And then you become really, you experience more productivity, and it comes from within. It's not something that is exposed. It comes from within. It's voluntary. And what happens then, so you see two axes on the flow model. The vertical one is represent challenges, and the horizontal one represent abilities. So when the perceived challenge is higher than the person's perceived abilities, then the person experiences stress and anxiety. And if that prolongs, then the person experiences burnout. So, what happens is if you really don't discipline your inner energy, which is your psychology, right? And keep worrying about the challenges because you feel like this is beyond my abilities. I can't cope. I don't have the skills. And this is too difficult. Whether the challenges are beyond your control or whether they're you're in your control, it's a more sophisticated conversation. But I'm just giving you like a summary right now. Then you keep worrying, and I have a client, for example, she's really too much immersed, like in she worries about the war. She worries that there will be more of this and it will escalate, etc., to a level where now she feels burned out, and she doesn't want to even work on her business, but she feels like, what is the point? So that's not functional. That's not like a good place. Whereas the other side is like a person might be feeling that their abilities are much higher than the challenge, the task that they have maybe is too easy for them. An assignment, for example, may be too easy for them. They're more, able. What happens is either they get bored or indifferent if that prolongs, if that persists. Whereas the flow model suggests that, you turn this into a game, like almost like an inner game, and invest in your motivation, inner motivation, through a methodology, and develop your own and design your own flow experiences in your personal life and in your professional life. And in personal life, it can be anything, any experiences. It can be sports, it can be art, it can be self-development, like learning to build confidence, self-esteem, presentation skills, social networking, building and sustaining friendships. I'm working with one of my clients about this, for example. She wants to expand and branch out to new relationships. So we're practicing that and using the flow model indeed. So we ask as flow coaches, what would flow look like for you if you already had achieved that goal? If you already have achieved that goal of yourself, what would flow look like for you? So for those of you who are willing to become coaches, professional coaches, a question may be, what would flow look like for you if you become content and successful and confident coaches?
Yeah, Talia, I'm just going to pick up on something that you said because what I've heard so much lately is this is called the attention economy. So there's so many external factors, particularly with the media and our access to media that we have it in our hand with our cell phone, that our attention is there's, I've heard many different numbers, 300 and some odd times a day you go to your phone. So there's always something calling for our attention. And when you work through with a client the flow model, what that helps to do is to help them cut out the noise and to say, what is that I really want to focus on? And where do I want to put my attention and my energy? And that's what I find when we take a client through the flow model, through those 5 steps, that it's very valuable for them to say, oh, yes, it's like they're coming back into themselves. This is what I want to focus on, or this is what I need to focus on. This is where I'm finding joy. This is where my energy comes from. And it allows them to go back to that almost reset away from, I'm maybe using this term incorrectly, but that hyper vigilance about so many things in the environment, many of which we cannot impact, to get right back down to what is it that I want to focus on or need to focus on, and how that brings me that amazing satisfaction, so that when I'm doing it, I lose track of time. I lose, I have confidence, and I come out of it feeling good, at peace, and energized.
That's wonderful. I really like the term attention economy. Really like, because I mean, even I myself, like knowing the model, it's so challenging these days to really focus, right? If you're not intentional, you lose track of time, finding yourself browsing in social media, like, or like, researching and so and I hear more and more from our clients, maybe you also, they say like, oh, they have ADHD now. And I was discussing this with my daughter, who is a psychologist special student at UFT, University of Toronto, because she is learning fresh out of the oven, like, research, like data, right? She says ADHD is not a personality disorder, mom. And I agree with her, right? It's almost like habitual for a lot of people. For some people, yeah, because of the brain wirings or like some genes, DNA. But for a lot of people, it's an outcome of circumstances, right? So the attention span has become shorter and shorter. So I love the word attention economy. So what we are teaching at the program is really, and that's why the 5-step methodology is, last step is about focus. What we are really teaching is the full circle, from awareness to motivation, and from motivation to creative planning, from creative planning to achievement, and from achievement to focus, so that the full circle not only teaches the coach to use, like, to have a structure to navigate the conversations, coaching conversations successfully, but also helps the coach to stay focused on what is really important to them. So that awareness is essential. We should be teaching this awareness to our children. Like, we should be teaching this at schools. So important. I love it. I really love it. Wonderful. Can we move on with the next slide, please? And also maybe, yeah, after this, let's start to receive the questions. Roxanne, do you want to talk about the flow coaching principles here?
I would love to. Thank you, Talia. Oh, here we have a question coming in.
Hi, Honor.
I wonder. Nice to see that you're live. Thank you. So the flow coaching philosophy and principles, they are, you can call it principles, values. They are what underlies how we conduct ourselves as coaches, how we create that wonderful environment for our coachee to thrive. And we take these principles into every coaching session that we do. As flow coaching graduates, we embrace these principles. We embrace the values, and it helps bring them to life for the coachees, and how we are able to help people through that. For example, that the STAR process to get to that place of flow and what they want. It's integrative. It is definitely the spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical aspects that we bring in, encourage our coaches to bring in. There is a list of 15 of them. I'm going to highlight a few for you. I've just got them over here. And it's the philosophy. And I will tell you, the first time I ever heard these, and I believe it was Talia was taking us through as a class the first time. It was amazing. It's the assumption, and it's not even just assuming, it is the knowledge that the person whom you are coaching, you yourself and the person whom you are coaching, they're creative from birth. We are all creative from birth. Creative capacity is existential. It is there. We talk about, I always think of Darwin and that the ability to adapt. We are born with that, and acknowledging that and bringing that in really promotes the growth. There's also the idea around that same philosophy that life is a continuous creative process in our evolution as we learn as individuals. I often think of small children are constantly learning and constantly experimenting. And we as adults, we know how to walk and talk and so many other things, but we need to adapt, and we need that flexibility to understand, to continue learning, to follow our heart's desires, our dreams, our goals, and so on. So that is that continuous process, that creative process is so critical to what we are and what we do as individual. And it's also a holistic model. When you think that, that the whole is the sum of the parts, and all the parts are related to the whole. It's kind of the holographic nature of being. So, each one everything is interrelated, right? There is change one part, so change one thing in your life, but change one part or one aspect, and it impacts the whole. Really beautiful way to look at that wonderful, creative process that we are in, and us as human beings being and evolving and adapting and changing. And we do that right up until the end, right? So it's really a fabulous way to look at it. I also love this is one of my favorites, and this has impacted me in my HR work, is there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. So it's all about, I am constantly learning, adjusting, pivoting, incorporating new things. That is amazing, particularly in the workplace. So many coaches are in workplaces, and that is about not beating yourself up and getting to that place of enjoying and feeling that flow process as you learn and grow. And the integrity of the body and mind. This is why we got those body, mind, spirit, and emotions is essential. Whatever, that's the holographic, model. It's whatever happens in one happens in all. It impacts us all. If we're sad, that can impact the body. It can really manifest in the body as well. If you're thinking something, if you think of yourself, going through a situation such as, rock climbing, and let's say it's in a safe place, a rock climbing gym. I did that for many years, so I love it, and I'm pretty good at it, or at least I was pretty good at it. But my hands can still sweat when I think of that. So it's just something that's going on in my mind is affecting me physically. So that we are all things at all times, which is wonderful. And one of my favorites when I heard this, another one of my favorites, I love these principles, is our memory. And I had to think about this one, but our memory and our imagination use the same neurological pathways. So therefore, the two are also equal in our thought processes. So it's like the idea around, affirming things or thinking positively about things that impacts us for sure, because the mind can't tell the difference. It's what we're telling the mind, which opens the door for an amazing creative process and growth. And I'm just going to leave you with the last one. If something is possible in the world, it is possible for you too. The only thing you need is to find out how. And the coaching process helps take us through that. So when you're working with a coach, or when you are a coach and you're helping someone through it, it's about the how. It's not, can I, can't I? It's bringing these principles in and saying there is so much that is possible, and how do you make that manifest?
Wonderful. Thank you, Roxanne. I think very well explained. That's wonderful. And let's move on with the next slide, where I think, and also there were some questions also about this is, can we please bring the next slide? No, the question can stay the next. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. This is a question from Deborah, length of ICF Level 1 certification coaching program. And Roxanne, do you want to talk about maybe the components, and then I can talk about the length of the program?
Absolutely. So it's modules 1 to 5, and I have the honor of being a teaching assistant in a module 1 to 5, as well as a module 6 that's just starting up right now. And it is it takes you, the way it's structured is beautiful because it takes you through the program experientially. And you get to demonstrate and practice. And that's one of the things that I'm noticing, that the participants in the level 1 to 5 that I'm in, is that practice just consolidates everything. So sometimes we take courses and it's highly theoretical. This is highly practical. You can apply what you learned at the beginning of that class into the rest of that class. We model it, we practice it. It's amazing. So modules 1 to 5, it's I don't know if you want to go through this, Talia, or I can. Up to you. Would you like to talk about the process?
Yeah, maybe I would like to talk about the length also as I talk about the process. So the level 1 certification program includes modules 1 to 5 of the core foundations or the business leadership coaching program, which is modules 1 to 5 that Roxanne was talking about. And it takes about 3.5 months to complete modules 1 to 5. And then there is an individual mentoring component of level 1, which is self-paced. So you can, what we do is we pair you with at least two different mentors to work with, and you schedule your mentoring sessions with your mentors. And you can begin your mentoring sessions as long as you feel ready to record your coaching sessions. So what happens is you record 30-minute coaching session and then reach out to us, and then we book you with one of your mentors, and then you start to work with your mentors. And then at the end of your mentoring, when you are done with 10 mentoring sessions, you send us your best coaching session recording, which is an oral performance evaluation. We evaluate, and then we issue your level 1 certificate. This whole process might take from, I would say, 6 months, because we really encourage you to take some time between mentoring sessions, 6 months to a year, depending on your pace. But modules 1 to 5, because the sessions are already scheduled, It's about 15 weeks. And then mentoring takes some time to book, but it's self-paced. I mean, if you may feel like you're ready to schedule a mentoring session every week, that's really up to you. So but I would give it at least like 5 to 6 months to complete. I hope this explained and answered your question, Deborah. And let's come to level 2. Yeah, can you bring the yes? Yeah, thank you. Roxanne, why don't you give an overview and then maybe I add more.
Certainly. So the if you're going to do the module 6, and I'm going to focus just on module 6, it is just taking that up to the next level. It is going deeper, going further, and really kind of consolidating a lot of what you learned in 1 to 5. But it does take you to the next level, and it's really I found for me it was so helpful as I fully applied that, particularly when I was doing executive coaching and leadership coaching. It was definitely has all the principles, the same idea that you do your theory at the beginning of the class. We talk through it. And the way you are in the classroom is that we do these on Zoom, and it is so easy if you have a question in that moment to speak to the instructor, and the instructor will also elicit responses from the class. So it's highly interactive, and then we often will break out, it almost always break out into coaching sessions. So there's the opportunity for you to get practical coaching with one of the other students, coach that person, and then we often flip. We usually flip, and then you get to be the coachee. I found it very valuable actually to be coached on certain real life. It's not fake. We bring in real life situations of our own that we are coached through. So it's just a wonderful, easy process. While this looks like a long list of things that you have to do, it's not. And to misuse the word, it flows very easily, and the instructors prepare you so well for the next step, and you feel confident going in.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Roxanne. And one more thing is that level 2 program is the most advanced and is the all-inclusive program. Takes you to both ACC and also PCC credentials. And there is an oral performance evaluation at the end that allows you to skip the oral performance submitting your oral performance evaluation to ICF. Hi, Monica. Wonderful. By the way, Monica is an ACC. She's a former student. She's an ACC, and she just, I think she's ready to apply for PCC, get her PCC. Wonderful news. So how is the course structured? I think we explained that. Maybe the only thing we haven't explained is the Expressive Arts Coaching program. Maybe I can talk about that as well. So Expressive Arts Coaching program is a continuing education program. And it gives you 24 coaching hours, coaching training hours. And it's for those people who would like to integrate and incorporate creative tools and techniques to their coaching or facilitation or consulting skills. And there are some also students who have in the program in the past who had zero coaching experience, but they still thrived well. They still did well in the program. It's a very experiential program, highly experiential program. I don't have slides for the Expressive Arts Coaching program. I'm teaching that. I'm an expressive arts coach and therapist at the same time. And what we do is I deliver a demonstration, and then student coaches practice, and then we debrief together. So, and we make art together during our live sessions. So that's how it is structured. It's It's very intuitive, very experiential. If that is what you're curious about, Aline. So theoretical topics are covered. I think we already shared the foundations, and we so a few things about the whole program, like level one and level two programs. So we teach ICF's core competencies and ethical standards. We teach the 5-step flow coaching methodology. We teach the flow model of positive psychology. We teach positive psychology pillars. We teach different levels of motivation and how to coach people's intrinsic motivation, and how to coach them through different motivation levels. We teach, and I say teach, everything is we show, we practice. It's a very experiential program. Teach about behavioral change, how to make behavioral change possible. We teach techniques and tools such as gap analysis in the business leadership coaching program, for example, or macro business planning, strategic coaching, and some creative tools like positive change tunnel, miracle questions, and listening, of course. There's 4 levels of listening. So we teach all of those, topics and more in the program. In the Expressive Arts Coaching Program, it starts with theoretical foundations such as polyaesthetics theory, the brain when it is creative, and the modalities, arts modalities that I use, and materials and their sensory experiences, etc., etc. So these are some examples of the topics that we cover in all programs. Roxanne, anything that
I'm just wanting to say I did not take the expressive arts, but I saw it in action when Telly and I were delivering a course, a workshop for a group of a cohesive unit of that was just north of the city, and it was absolutely phenomenal to see how people embraced art as a way of expression when it came to their situation. And we were looking at authentic leadership and helping this group move on and express what has happened and where they want to go. It was phenomenal to watch it. So
yeah, I love it. You can tell, right? I really love it.
And so did the participants. They were all in.
Yeah. It was a great group of people. And the learning schedule. Maybe we bring the schedule now. Thank you, Danny. So these are some upcoming cohorts of different programs. So each program, modules 1 to 5, like the core foundations and the business leadership coaching certification training programs, take about 15 weeks to complete, each of them. And there is a class every week, once a week, and classes are 2 hours. And what you see, like hours that you see on the slide, is Toronto time, like Eastern time, North American Eastern time. So please calculate depending on your geography, on your zone. And then there is module 6. Can we come to the next slide, please? Yeah, level 2, which is module 6. So module 6 has 10 practicum sessions, and each session is 3 hours. And the classes are once or twice a month, depending on holidays, etc. And that's why it's usually about 5 months to complete, because we really give a break to absorb and digest between the practicum sessions. And expressive arts coaching training. Is about an 8-week program, and there's a class every week, and then classes are 3 hours. And the next slide, please. Yay! Now this is our gift. So, yes, thank you. And we are so thrilled, so happy, and so appreciative of you that you have joined us and then stayed with us. We would like to offer a 100 Canadian dollar discount on all programs that you enroll. It's excluding the Express Awards coaching program. And thank you for joining us. Do we have any questions? I'm not sure left that we haven't answered. Oh, yes, we have a question indeed. So, hi, Terry, and late October, you provide the modules and practice hours in one package, and now it appears those are separate. Can you confirm? Yeah, I think we explained, but because this question came a bit late. So we explained, but let me just clarify for you. So level 1 has modules 1 to 5 of the core foundations or the business leadership coaching program, plus individual mentoring sessions, which is 10 sessions, and those sessions are self-paced. And then there is modules 1 to 5 and module 6. And so you can enroll in full program upfront, or you can choose to go step by step. So that's possible. I think that's confirmed. So, business leadership coaching program. Do you want to talk about it, Roxanne, maybe for a bit, and then we can. Business leadership coach. There's a question about business leadership coaching program.
So the business leadership coaching program, again, follows the same kind of philosophy, but it's really focused, and Talia was talking a bit about that, using other techniques and other tools such as gap analysis and so on. And it is even that much more, the language is much more highly focused on a business situation, or if you're in a corporate environment, or if you were in a not-for-profit, and definitely the public sector, it would definitely apply to that. Just it's a little bit more finely tuned. I don't want to say the other one is generic in any way. It's very focused on coaching, but it's bringing in those topics that would happen in workplaces, in businesses, not-for-profit, public sector, private sector.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, and I totally agree. And it's, if you already know that you want to coach in a setting like business setting, you want to coach managers, executives, leaders, or you want to function in a corporate setting, business leadership coaching is quite focused. And whereas the core foundation is more focused on coaching the psychology of the person, the motivations, values, and the flow states, and the business leadership coaching takes a more strategic approach to coaching in the workplace. So this is all for today, I think, and we are a bit early. So thank you for joining us. And if you have questions, please email info@flowcoachinginstitute.com, or you can call us. You see the phone number and on the screen. And I'm sure you already visited our website. So I hope to see you, and I hope you enjoyed this session as much as we did. Roxanne, anything that you want to add?
Wonderful. Thank you for having me part of this. I am one of the biggest fans. It is just I will also say one thing that I was thinking is as I'm going through these again, and it was interesting because yeah, having coached and then finding a coach myself. This was prior to starting Flow, which got me to, reevaluate what I want to do next. And then that got me into coaching. And then I was doing coaching in the sessions, as part of the curriculum. It really taught me the value of, first of all, well, being a coach for sure, the value that I was able to help create, whereas the other person could get those aha moments and those wonderful things and make the life changes they need. But also the importance of having a coach. It's so it helps you get to the next level. So you are really doing so much for so many people and helping them get there. And I love the fact that it is. When they get to that place, it's not because we've told them, it's because we're asking these amazing questions and taking them through a process so they have that ownership and they have that sense of satisfaction, which really motivates them to go forward.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Roxanne. I mean, becoming a coach and coaching people, like, as a career switch that I made almost 20 years ago, was the best decision of my life. So it's really very rewarding, and it doesn't get old. Really doesn't get old. The feeling doesn't get old. It's always there. Wonderful, and very nice to work with you again, Roxanne. Thank you very
You too,
much.
Talia.
And take care, everyone, and take care of yourselves. And I hope to see you in the program. Bye.